Hi, everybody. Welcome to Adventures Wanted. We are a monthly talk show where we talk about everything cool with D&D Adventures League, which is Wizards of the Coast's official organized play for people who want to use the same some D&D Adventures League guidelines. You can use those guidelines and create a character that you can then take anywhere. Currently, probably mostly online, but you can take it anywhere the D&D Adventures League games are being played, and you can take that same character that you've been playing at home and take it to a charity event, an online convention, and continue on that story, which makes it a little bit more unique than just playing a what's the word, Amy?
A lot of folks use homebrew. Yeah.
Homebrew. Thank you. It's a little bit different than playing a homebrew game because each DM has their own rules, and your chances of taking that same character into a different DM playing their home brew rules are much more slim. So today, you have hosts Ma'at, Crook, and
me, Amy Lynn Dzura.
Yay!
The third in our trio, Latia Jakis, is our producer today. She's taking care of us.
Yes.
She can't control what comes out of our mouths, but she's making us look real good right now. And we thank her.
We'll try our best not to embarrass Latia.
Just ourselves.
Yes. Can I show off my t-shirt?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is my t-shirt for the day. It says Latia Ma'at, Queen Dragon Dzura.
We are the three-headed community monster.
Yes. So I saved this shirt special for wearing today.
I am also wearing a D&D shirt. I don't know if you can tell. I got this during
ampersand
D&D Celebration.
Is it iridescent?
It's all like pastels. So there's light blues and light pinks and a little bit of purples. So
that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's perfect. It just needs glitter.
It does. And I'm pretty sure I can probably make that happen somehow.
Yeah.
So.
We do have a guest today
with
us because the theme of our entire show today is the Extra Life Charity. And I have a brand new Extra Life donation page up, and Amy has hers up. And then also we have our guest today, Travis Woodall.
Hi, it's me. I'm here. Everybody can unwind and relax now. It is me.
Well, thank goodness.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very excited to be here.
One of the questions that was asked last show, we are pre-recording this show, and we pre-recorded last month as well. Right? We did, right?
2 months ago. Last month was Celebration.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. So last month we were not pre-recorded, but I did not have a window up to look at chat. Did anybody else?
No. There was so much going on. There was no way. I would have just been like the whole time.
No, I didn't have a window up.
Yeah.
So.
But I did watch the show afterwards. And I wanted to, because I realized that I had not even looked at chat, even though we were live. And I collected some questions. I had forgotten to write. Boy, I'm a mess lately, but I had forgotten to write who asked any of these questions. I am sorry about that. I love calling y'all out in a good way, but I didn't do that at all. So someone asked last episode in chat, how do we get involved in D&D Adventures League? So I was hoping that we could have that be our introduction question for the day. Travis, how did you first get involved with D&D Adventures League?
So I got involved in organized play in general in 2003, I think. I had recently relocated back to the United States from my whirlwind tenure in the Netherlands, and I settled down in somewhat soggy and overcast Washington, and I was hard up for a game, and I didn't care where that game was being played or what they were playing. So I found just on Meetup a game being played at a not super conveniently local library, and I showed up there, and there was like maybe 20 people, and I was like, what the hell is going on? This is way too many people to share a table with. But then we like split into a bunch of tables, and I then learned about Living Greyhawk, and played that through to the end. Continued playing through. I did some writing, towards the end of Living Greyhawk. I ended up writing a couple of adventures for that. Did some stuff with encounters in the 4th edition days and the Living Forgotten Realms. And then I kind of got in on the ground floor of Adventures League by applying to be an administrator for that campaign. And
you'd seen a ad for it?
There was just an open call for applications, and
like
I
online.
Threw my hat in the ring. We had to write like a gaming resume, which I'd never written before. Gaming resume, professional resume, and then I found out a couple months later that I had been chosen as
a couple of minutes later.
A couple months later, yeah. It's not that quick. That would have been nice. But yeah, there was like a couple months of waiting, and then Chris Tulloch gave me a call and asked if I wanted to work with him, and I said yes. And I've been doing it since then.
Nice.
In middling degrees of proficiency and competence.
Different roles.
Yep. I've been doing the same. I think, let's see. I am the only admin that is still in the role that I started in.
Wow.
Just with some reorg stuff, everybody's kind of shifted around. So I haven't had to change my shirt, which is convenient.
It's not. It's faring pretty well for for that.
Yeah. So it's been fun.
Amy, I think you're on mute.
Well.
There.
That's because my dog was barking.
Oh, Argos.
Right. It's not an episode of Adventures One unless he makes himself known.
Yes.
I have dachshunds, so my dogs are quite loud as well. But one of them is not feeling well, so he should just be quiet. The other one, not so much.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to spot Argos. I have everybody locked out of my
He's right there.
Office right now.
Oh, to have a door.
So Amy, how did you first get involved with DDAL?
Much the same way that Chavis did. I had moved to Philadelphia from Pittsburgh, where I was born and raised. And when my now husband got a job out here, we were looking to make friends because, like, when you're an adult, it's not like you go to school and have activities and see people. You just have your job, sometimes.
Sometimes you don't want to hang out with those people.
But like I went from working in an office to working from home. So like my job was still in Pittsburgh. So it was just me during the day. So I was like, how do we make friends with like the kind of cool people that we want to hang out with? And my husband, who had played D&D since like late 2nd, early 3rd edition, maybe, I don't know, was like, do you trust me? And I'm like, yes.
That is always the kind of question that makes
it right. So he's like, okay. He's like, do you want to try playing Dungeons and Dragons? And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So in 2015, 2014, 2015, we found a local gaming con that actually hasn't happened since that year. So super fortuitous. We went and I played City of Danger by Sean Merwin. It was the mini adventure module for season 2. And I sat down with my pre-gen. I actually just found a picture of it on my phone like a couple of days ago. I played a Goliath? No. I played something big. It was a fighter. I was hitting things with sticks. They're like, okay, this is the die that you use when you want to hit something. I'm like, great. My character was swallowed by a giant frog and a giant badger fell on her. And I was just like, I'm in. I'm so in. So after that, we're like, okay, when are we going to do this again? We found a gaming store. We lived right on the Delaware River between in Pennsylvania, so it was actually closer for us to go into New Jersey. So we found our game store in New Jersey that we went to. Met some really amazing people and started gaming like every week. And it's been like 5 years now. So.
Every week of your life for 5 years now. Just
yeah,
about.
Sometimes multiple times a week. It's kind of great,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What about you? It's your turn.
Yeah, I watched the very first episode of Critical Role and was so resentful that I was 43 then and had never actually gotten further than making D&D characters and had never played a game. And so I called up a friend who that I had thought that I had heard that he had DM'd, and no, actually I knew that he had DM'd, and he agreed to DM me and some other friends. But because of schedules, he could only, and the rest of the group could only play once a month. And after that first time of playing, I was all, none of that nonsense. And so internet, I looked up, I just typed in my area and D&D games, and Adventures League popped up in a local store. And so it was much like Travis, it was much like your experience walking in there in this game store. There are maybe like 20 tables available for people. This is oh my gosh, I'm gonna so regret this. It's a big store in Portland that I went to.
Like Guardian Games.
Guardian Games, thank you.
Yeah. You West Coasters.
That's a big one.
It is. It's a big store. They even have like a bar area where there's tables as well. So I was playing there, and I was playing once a week, and then I started DMing. I also in there started writing as well. Had an opportunity to become a writer, because one of the things to write a CCC is that you need to connect with an organizer. So the organizer was there at the store running the Adventures League tables. Now, that would be a little bit harder to do now.
Just a little.
Yeah, but you can still do that internet search and find games played all over. And that's one of the cool things about playing online, is that you can be in one country and play a game that the DM is in another country, or the charity event is in centered around this one organization that's in another country, for example. But so you could easily do that. There was something else. Oh, also, I moved. I don't live anywhere near Portland now. I tried to drive the 2.5 hours. I did it for a while. I was just so insistent to play D&D that I drove 2.5 hours there and then back like once a week. And I just can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's unsustainable in the long term.
Yeah. But I live in such a rural community. I did my internet search, and I found nothing. The one store that was playing 40 minutes from me was their D&D Adventures League DM had stepped down. So I didn't even have anything an hour away.
Oh no.
Jeez.
If that is a situation that you find yourself in, you can start your own game super easy. All I did was I talked to my library and I offered to DM once a week for people that came in to the library. And then that grew to be 2 tables and 2.5 tables.
How did you get word out? Like, what resources did you use to let your community know that there was going to be a new game?
The library had a Facebook page.
Okay.
And so they announced it. And also, such a small community, also my library would had a calendar that they would print in any of the city hall mailings that went out. And that also meant the power bill as well.
That's cool.
Or not the power bill, your water bill
So
also goes out.
In advertising.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So everybody that gets water would get a little notice that said every Sunday would be a D&D day.
That's very
It was like that small where like the librarian's also the mailman and the sheriff and your DM.
She works hard enough that she may as well be. But yeah, it can be that easy. All you need to do is just say, I'm going to run D&T games. You look at the guidelines. You say, these are the guidelines we're going to use for building your character. You get onto dmsguild.com and get some D&D Adventures League games, or use some of the hardcovers. Our guidelines say which hardcovers are legal as well. And then you play them. That's it.
And then you have fun.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Knocking on wood for you. It's a pretty sure bet, though.
Yeah.
So, we have, should we move on to the announcements?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We do have some adventures that we can talk about that just made it to dmsguild.com. Amy, do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. DDAL 10-01, The Frozen North by Paige Lightman just came out this week. It is a 4-hour adventure, and I believe you start out in the cold and scary spine of the world, and there's a blizzard, and you're trapped, and you have to find your way back to civilization. Is that accurate, Travis?
Yeah, pretty much. Like you are caught in the thick of the blizzard, and you meet some new friends, and it's all about surviving that blizzard and as something else is happening in the background.
So, Travis, would you say that this season has sort of like a darker tone than maybe some in our previous storylines?
Yes. We didn't want. We definitely wanted the Frozen North to kind of have, like, if you've ever watched The Thing, old movie from the 80s where it's in like this Arctic research station, and this alien is running around killing people, but the problem is that you don't really see the alien because he's possessing bodies and everything like that. But we wanted to have this kind of dark, unseen malevolence hunting the characters, and
creepy.
Yes, definitely creepy. Paige knocked it out of the park.
She always does.
Yes, I'm really excited about this season. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit darker than not like last season was puppies and rainbows, but
it wasn't my part of the world. Just saying.
Yes, a little dark.
can always manage to get puppies and rainbows into even the
Yeah.
scariest
Absolutely.
adventures.
But yeah, so the Frozen North is for just levels 1 and 2, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And it premiered at Celebration. It was originally going to be like our traditional, dash one, where it's a 4-parter, 4 mini adventures, but we changed it to just be a standard 4-hour adventure. But
So one
interesting.
adventure, one reward at the end, one level up?
Adventure, 1 level at the end. Yep. If you complete the adventure, you get a level. And then it's just one 4-hour adventure now.
Perfect.
But a good one.
And we'll include the link to that. I'm gonna try to watch the show as it streams. And we have links that we will try to get into chat maybe, or for sure into the YouTube description, because we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff.
We got a lot going on.
Yeah. Today's episode is chock full of awesomeness.
I was just about to say chock full. That's awesome.
We're Twinkies.
Thought beam.
Like this.
Mm-hmm.
So another adventure that recently was uploaded to DM's Guild is DDAL-EB-10, and that is called Judgment of Iron. It's an Oracle of War campaign adventure for levels 5 through 10. It is a 4-hour adventure, and it was written by Richard Green. And the Oracle of War campaign is set in Eberron, right? Yeah. I am pulling it up right now. So it says the Breelish army marches into the moorland on a doomed assault on the enclave of the Lord of Blades. Oh, it mentions there's a massacre somewhere in there too. So this already sounds like a great adventure. Oh, the adventure is the final part of the Dogs of War storyline. So if you already have been playing Oracle of War and you just finished that up, yay, here you go. You get the conclusion of that story arc.
I heard the second one was particularly good.
Oh.
Yeah?
That's
Who
just
wrote
what the
that one?
rumors. Is that the? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I went.
Uh-huh.
The writer's pretty good.
He's
okay.
The writer's kind of like but yeah.
No,
I credit
Travis wrote
the editors.
part 2. You credit who?
The editor.
Well, the
probably,
editor can't hold everything.
You'd be surprised.
And speaking of Eberron, I believe Will Doyle put out on Twitter earlier this week that the second Oracle of War epic is going to be coming out soon. It's called Rolling Thunder. So keep an eye out for that.
We don't have an exact date, but just a soon.
Yeah.
Great.
Sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
2020 can't take everything.
Glass half full or half empty.
Yeah.
It's
half full for sure.
Yeah. All right. And then we had a third adventure for the Dream of the Red Wizards. I doing these shows, my brain goes blank a lot. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, talking to dozens of people.
Yeah. Being on the spot.
Yeah.
But being a DM sure has given me a lot of practice at getting better. So last year I would have been a lot worse at it. This month on the 27th, another installment of Dream of the Red Wizards, number 6. This is the name of it. It may be a tongue twister as well. Thimble rigging.
Nailed it. You made me say it last month, so it's your turn.
Because I can already feel my southern accent making my tongue all have a hard time with words like that.
Cannywampus.
Maybe I should just try saying it Southern. Thimble rigging.
There you go.
It was a lot easier to say that way. It's going to be uploaded to the DM's Guild. It is a tier 3 adventure written by MT Black. And this is one of the masters campaigns. Masters, what are we calling that?
Master campaign.
Master campaign. And so it's a 6-hour adventure. And in 2 parts. So let's see, what's our time? Hi. Okay. I will let y'all read that. We will include the links to that because we've just got so much to talk about. Yeah. So we should talk about the updates that people that have happened recently. Travis or Amy, y'all want to take that?
Yeah. So version 10.3, I believe, is the most recent version, and that added Orcs as a playable race, as well as some tinkering to the origins, the rules on origins that have allowed you to swap out an armor proficiency for a tool, simple weapon, or martial weapon proficiency. Yeah, so we're hoping to have the ALDMG, the Dungeon Master's Guide, out soon. Sooner rather than later. Hoping by the end of the month, but we'll see when we get that and up and ready for everybody to use, as well as like the historic campaign, some stuff for that, and the Masters campaign too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
You're welcome in equal amount.
Yeah. So the next little thing that we'd love to tell you about is that we listened. We try to listen so hard, and when Amy and I and Latia said we've tried, but it just, we don't think Liars Night's going to happen. People are all.
There was an outcry. Yes. We didn't realize how much everyone loved it.
I love it too. Halloween's my favorite holiday. So any D&D related, even almost Halloween like holiday, I was heartbroken. But Amy, you put the fire.
I'm an optimist. I think
yes.
we could get it done. We tried real hard.
Yes.
Sheer force of willpower. We will make this happen.
And a lot of hard work. So wave 1 I wrote. It is out. You can find it on dndadventuresleague.org. And it is a quick encounter. And then Amy wrote.
It is not a quick encounter. I wrote wave 2. It is like a haunted mansion style spooky house that you go into, and there's 4 rooms that I tried to give options for some of them. One of them you just have to go in and squish things, but others there are ways to, survive them in various fashions. So yeah, hopefully it'll help you get your spookies on. Mm-hmm. And next week we've got another one coming. We don't know what we're doing for it yet, but
we're gonna right after this show.
we're gonna put our 3 heads together.
Yes.
3 dragon heads. Yes. And you can play those through November 2nd, right?
Yes.
Which is the first Monday in November. But if you donate to Extra Life or your local children's hospital, if you're international, you can donate to your local hospital or organization. And then that gives you an extra week. So through the 9th of November,
Yes.
where you can add those encounters into your sessions that you're playing online or in person. Some of you, I know Australia and I think New Zealand, y'all have your act together. So, but yeah, you get an extension of 1 week if you make it a charitable donation. No like minimum or anything, whatever you can afford. And you get some extra spooky times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we like the wave 1 came out last week. Wave 2 came out this week. Wave 3 will be out. The last one will be out next week. Sometimes people don't play that often, or something happens and they're not able to squeeze in the next one in time. So that extra week will hopefully give you time to do that, because these are on a limited schedule. Liar's Night only lasts so long. It's really supposed to be a one night.
Giving you many, many more nights.
Yes.
Yeah, my neighbors have had Halloween decorations up for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and I just love it.
Yeah.
Argos not so much, because there's like things in the yard that he doesn't have to deal with. But so I'm excited. I'm gonna put my twinkle out lights up after Halloween, I think. So
After Halloween, not before.
we'll see.
Okay.
I've got some pumpkins to carve first.
I hope you share them.
I do. I will.
Okay, because
if we share on social media your pumpkin carvings or your costumes, you can get a scroll for your D&D game. Ma'at, what was your scroll for the pumpkin carvings? If you share your costume with us, you get
it was something cool.
Appropriately chosen scroll of disguise self. We have threads going on our Facebook groups. Just find, there's a bunch of pictures and add yours there, and you can give yourself a scroll, or tag us on Twitter or on Instagram. It's almost like being at a con, you guys. It's like, look at all these people that we used to hang out with in person.
Some of them still dressing up in cosplay right now.
I highly approve of this.
Yes. So if you show off your drawing of a carved gourd or pumpkin or turnip, or you actually show one of those real life carvings in a photograph, then you get 1 scroll of divine favor.
Yeah.
Nice.
If y'all have any suggestions what I should carve my pumpkins as this year, I have no idea. So I'm absolutely taking submissions. Twitter's like, make a beholder. I'm like, if I bring any more pumpkins home, I might get a divorce for Halloween.
Well, if you had the little tiny ones, if you had 8
ones.
little tiny ones, they could be the eyes.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
There are now 6 pumpkins in my house right now, though. So.
That's a lot of pumpkins.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of pumpkins.
It's like almost an excessive amount of pumpkins.
4 of them are going to turn into pie.
Okay.
So, and then I've got like my 2 really, really big carving pumpkins. So
be careful not to drop any rings in that one.
Oh no, because then there's a whole thing to help.
Whole hullabaloo of trying to hunt down this
investigation checks. Yeah.
Did you drop a ring into a pumpkin at some point?
That's wave 1 is someone drops their wedding ring and their wedding is tomorrow.
That's unfortunate timing. This relationship is starting off on a bad foot.
However, it would be starting off on a good foot, because a liar's night wedding would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but if you lose your ring, there might not be a wedding.
Yeah. Unless you have a nice enough partner that would be all, okay, things happen, and I can still be married to you without any stinky ring.
This is true. Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know what Extra Life is, we've talked about Extra Life. Extra Life is a big, it is an international charity organization that helps different children's hospitals. So I signed up to be an Extra Life, to have an Extra Life fundraiser page, and I got to decide which children's hospital I was going to choose. And so I typed in and did the search on Extra Life, and it came up with the Portland Hospital, which would be a 2.5-hour drive. But like I said on my page, that actually encourages me more. It makes me want to help even more, because kids in my area and other rural areas might have to drive that far to get to a hospital that has expertise to help them. So it just gave me more incentive to want to support them even more. So yeah, that they are really interested in doing prevention, the medical health prevention, treatments for children who are sick, and ongoing care for children who need it. So that is what Wizards of the Coast and D&D Adventures League are focusing on right now as one of the many charities that Adventures League folks support. And I have the numbers from last year.
I feel like I should start up a drum roll, but I don't want to blow our mics out.
I don't have your numbers though, Amy.
Oh, I have mine here. I can grab them.
Okay. All right. So while you're grabbing them, last year, Wizards of the Coast had a goal of $300,000, and they exceeded that goal by $65,000. Yeah. And then Travis, do you remember what you did last year?
My initial goal, I don't remember. My initial goal was only 5,000, but I raised a total of $29,091.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah. The AL players are
fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Greg Marks, I don't show what his goal was, but what he did last year was 45,000.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
It is my goal to one day beat Greg Marks.
I tried last year and
by our powers
halfway, more than halfway there, though, Travis.
Yeah.
Maybe this year.
Maybe this year. Well, maybe this year. We'll
Claire raised almost $5,000. Lisa raised almost $4,000. And Amy, do you remember your goal from last year?
My goal was $5,000 last year.
And what did you do?
We raised.
Good point.
$27,280.91.
That is quite considerable.
See, it's the 91 cents.
It really is. It's like a little cherry on your Sunday.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Oh, Alan has a page too.
Oh, I don't have
Alan Patrick raised $15,070 last year. So
and all that contributed to WotC's like all that plus other people that were on the Wizards of the Coast D&D team, we all helped to raise $365,000, more than that.
It was a good year.
Yeah. So you can, if you wanted to support children's hospitals, or if you wanted to do that and get that extra week of Liars Night play, you could donate to any of the charities we're going to talk, the fundraiser pages, and also some adventures that we're going to list next. Any of those donations will count towards that. So we have quite a few that Amy found on dmsguild.com.
There were more than I expected. I was pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah.
And at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are community content titles. So
yeah,
awesome people in our community.
And that's the Tortle package, Bedlam at the benefit. Jump in if anybody else wants to.
I think these two next ones must be related. ELO.
It does look like it.
01 for the kids, FOR by
Yeah.
Adam. Oh, I don't know how French they are. Adam
Gordier.
Gordier.
Sorry,
Adam.
Huh.
And then ELO-02, the 4 kids.
Yes.
I see.
By Marcela Velasquez.
Yes.
See, ELO, I wonder if that's like Electric Light Orchestra.
That's exactly what it is, Travis.
Yes. Also, there is the short story Introduction to the Border Kingdoms by Ed Greenwood. That one is still an Extra Life charity adventure. It's called Umbrous Unpleasantness at Undreth's Unicorn.
Yes. And that one's actually a story. So
yeah, it's not an adventure.
That leads into some of the so GameholeCon has adventures that they write and they oversee that are set in the Border Kingdoms. So that adventure or that story sort of leads up to the Border Kingdoms adventure. So if you want to read something that Ed Greenwood, created, I believe that one's Pay What You Want. So it's Pay What You Want and it goes to charity and you get a really cool story. So.
And Chris Lindsay wrote 2 that are still Extra Life ones, Rakma and Lokatha Rising. Am I saying that right? I've never actually said that out loud.
I don't know what the official pronunciation. I've always said Lokatha, but
we all do it a little different.
Everybody does it different.
Ask Chris.
Just go with it. Just
We didn't ask Adam how to pronounce his last name, and we didn't ask Chris how to pronounce.
We didn't.
We're not. We could be better hosts.
Nah, I think we're great.
We're doing awesome.
I'm feeling it. You can always just make it up. Just Locat ha.
We'll put some punctuation in the middle of it.
You can never go wrong in a fantasy writing with just arbitrary apostrophes in names. So
one of those Border Kingdom adventures from GameholeCon, 1-09 Scavengers by Alan Patrick, our very own, is also proceeds benefit Extra Life. 2 years ago or last year, The Lost Laboratory of Quailish by Park Carroll came out. That one is AL Legal. Check the content catalog to see because there's some tricky stuff in that one.
Now, there still could be human error in here, but I did go through and I checked that each one in the list so far that we've read is Adventures Legal. Yes, please double check my work. But
I think you're good so far.
Yeah.
But we do have a few listed that I know are not Adventures Legal, but if you donate to them, you still can.
Still totally counts.
Yeah, still counts as doing charity work. Still counts as supporting children's hospitals and for the Liars Night. Minsk and Boo's Guide to Stuff and Things is one of the Adventures Legal ones.
It absolutely is. If you're not familiar with Minsk and Boo, if you're not familiar with them as characters, yes. Minsk is a fighter and Boo is his giant miniature space hamster. And they're adorable. But so Minsk and Boo have written for the Adventurers League a guide.
They were expensive.
Subclass, really, I know, they have a lot of green M&Ms in their contract writer.
Minsk, Boo was okay, but Minsk was the problem. He was like,
no, Minsk talks smack on you the whole time, Travis.
Yeah, it's like, come on. It's like, okay, enough is enough, pal.
Bad blood there. But so there are subclasses in Minsk and Boo's Guide to Stuff and Things that you can read if you'd like to play them. I know I have one on my Extra Life page that if you donate for our certificate, you can play the Swedish Chef Warlock subclass. The cert is called Bork Bork Bork.
That's right.
because I love the Swedish chef.
Doesn't.
Yes.
I write. Then we've got two left that are definitely AL legal. One is MMT 01-02 by Henry Hussman. A little competition never hurt anyone. And there's also SEA 01-03 Stargazing on the Albatross, which just sounds magnificent, by John D. Thompson. The purchase of both of those adventures, proceeds will benefit Extra Life.
I hope me clicking on the outline and highlighting that didn't make you feel like you needed to
No.
hurry up.
Oh no, I'm very like we still have like this much on our outline.
I
know. I'm looking. I'm like,
you know, I guess if we don't get through everything, we can save it for the next show. Because supporting children's hospitals is still
never goes away.
Yep. So here's 3 things that are not Adventures legal. 1, Grung Above, the Lost Kenku, and Infernal Machine Rebuild. I will put a little asterisk to that because it does include a trinket certificate that is DDAL legal, but otherwise not legal. However, still would go towards supporting Extra Life.
Absolutely.
There are also some upcoming events that we sent out a request for people to let us know what Extra Life events they have planned. So the first one is that we found is Triangle Adventures for Extra Life 7, and it's going to be November 6th, 7th, and 8th. And it's on warhorn.net is where you can find information on it, and we'll include the link as soon as this is not a pre-recorded thing. Then also is Daddy Warbucks is doing an event on November 7th, playing games for 24 hours.
It's amazing.
Too long.
I don't know when y'all sleep.
Like 2 hours into a 4-round slot, and I'm like, oh God, I'm so sleepy. But again, sedentary.
I can confirm Travis fell asleep halfway through an adventure once and he was DMing for me. He did.
True.
I did get an awakened rabbit out of that though.
You did with waistcoats.
Sir Bunny.
Oh, that's
top
perfect. That I could totally see why you would be all over that.
Sir Bunny.
Amy, what did you name them?
Oh no, Sir Bunny's his name.
Sir Bunny's his name.
You have to say the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all he responds to.
He's a big deal.
On Saturday, November 14th at 9 a.m., Thanks for Giving 2020 will be happening, and we're going to drop, they left us a Facebook event link, which I believe are publicly accessible, so we shouldn't have any issues there. And then that same day, the Pumpkin Spiced Adventurers are also running an event. I have a surprise for everyone. I'm actually going to be DMing at that event because the event, they wrote a CCC that is pumpkin spice themed. I'm so excited.
I guess it's
great community created content adventure.
Right? Yeah, like that's the kind of like delightful forethought that I don't have. Months ago, they were like, let's do this charity event in the fall and have a CCC ready to go. And I just get to show up and DM it. And, they put the work in. All the credit goes to them for excellent planning.
And to you too for volunteering to DM for it too. So yeah, those are the ones that I know about now. And feel free to go to our Twitter and look for that thread. Maybe there's more added at this point.
We can probably pop those into the D&D Discord too, in like our announcements. So if you haven't joined the official Wizards of the Coast D&D Discord server, we will also pop that link into chat. We would love to have you join us. We do have a AL specific section of channels. So if you want to talk about the rules or like your new character build, or if you're looking for a game or you're a DM who's looking for players, come join us. We hang out over there.
So, and when you get into the Discord, in order to see those DDAL channels, you need to set your role as a AL player.
Yeah, once you read the code of conduct and accept that, you can set yourself as a D&D player, a D&D DM, and an AL player. And those will allow you access to different parts of the server based on your interests.
And this just in.
You guys are the best.
That was hilarious.
Is having an Extra Life charity auction. Okay, this is really cool.
It is.
So they will be through eBay. They're partnering with eBay to auction off several editorial galleys. And for those of you like me who didn't know what that was, they are the printed proof books with the cover and the page layout. But this would be like right before they had finalized and everything had gone to print. This is a test print. And so that's really cool. They are going to be auctioning off one Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, one Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, the traditional cover, Icewind Dale, an alternate cover, one of those, and one Tosh's Cauldron of Everything, a traditional cover, and then one as an alt cover.
Nice.
So that is going to be November 7th through the 17th, starting at 9 a.m. And you can find out more about it at ebay.com/WOTC charity. And all the proceeds are going to go to Extra Life, benefiting the Seattle Children's Hospital.
That's really cool. I've never seen Wizards do anything like that before. I'm a little jealous.
Yes.
Yeah.
of whoever's going to win them or one of them, because they're each separate auctions, right?
Yeah. Each book would be a separate auction.
That's very cool.
So, go ahead, Amy.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna suggest that the three of us talk about our pages. And because we have a little bit less than 10 minutes in the show left, do we want to end on that?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Ma'at, since your page is the newest and the shiniest, what did you come up with to offer?
Okay, please let me know if I need to change anything. Like after listening to y'all's goals.
Oh, you are creative.
My goal, I think, is way too high, but I could be wrong. Maybe y'all will prove me. Everyone will prove me wrong. So far, I have raised $25.
You got to start somewhere.
Boom.
Yeah. And I set my goal for 20,000.
Yeah.
I did not set low. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming big.
For it. Our community is amazing. We will absolutely smash that.
Okay, y'all let me know. This is my very first one, so I am pretty clueless. So what I have is you can get, if you donate, I will send you one of my adventures or a bundle of all my related Bleeding Gate adventures.
You mean those any nominated adventures?
Yes. 3 of them, any nominated. So yes. And then on my Twitter, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I do a #RPG tweet almost every day. And one of them is trinkets. So if you wanted to choose one of those, you could donate, and I will send you an illustration of that trinket. I email it to you. I'll email you a PDF of it.
How many of those do you think you'll have available?
This one's unlimited.
Nice.
That's trouble for me, but
Mhm.
depending on how long this goes, I do one of those every week. So that could mean that I would end up having to illustrate between now and January, like maybe a dozen or so, possibly. But I'm willing to do it for charity.
There you go.
So I will also, for $75 a seat, I will play my very first author only with
Hooray.
you. Yes. Mayhem on the Moon Sea. Okay. So then I got approval to create some cert items. And one of them is a Yeti Orphan, who I picture as like, I picture a very fuzzy haired Fizzgig like Yeti, who brings you flowers once every day. They somehow are able to find flowers even in the winteriest, scariest place, like Icewind Dale. They can still find a blossom somewhere underneath all that snow, and they bring you one every day, and their fur smells like flowers.
Nice.
So they would not be a pet or an animal companion. They would be more like a retainer, like the knights and the nobles have. Okay, then also, I will give you a certificate so you can make a Peacesmith bard. For those of you who played my Bleeding Gate adventures, the NPCs there and also the players get an opportunity to become Peacesmith. And they follow 5 principles. Their Peacesmith are honest, respectful, kind. They respect people's consent. Hey, Argos. And
somebody's hungry for dinner.
And they attempt to negotiate peace. So if you would like to build a bard using one of the brand new bard colleges from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and when the book comes out, then I'll announce which bard college that is. But I will send you a certificate so you can create that Peacesmith bard without it counting against your player's handbook +1.
Amazing.
And then the last cert item I have that's not listed in my stretch goals. I have some secret stretch goal items, but the last one is an ermine vermin pet.
I need it.
They are a stoat. Is that how you say those little?
That's how I pronounce it. Yeah.
So one of those weasels, and they can split into 2 when they get scared or you command them. And they're the second duplicate doesn't follow your commands or anything. They behave like a normal stoat, but then when an hour goes by or they drop down to 0 hit points, they poof vanish into a snow puff.
That sounds amazing.
It's like it can voluntarily shed its ego. Just
yeah. So, do those all sound like good rewards?
They sound magnificent.
Okay. And everyone can let me know if I need to bring that goal down.
A goal is a goal for a reason.
High. I just looked at you, and I looked at both of yours in order to try to make mine.
I got a lot of my wording from Travis, so
I copied most of mine from Greg.
There we go. Teamwork, Greg.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work.
I hope I didn't take 10 minutes. But so I will shush so the two of you can talk about your page.
Oh, you're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my current Extra Life offerings are actually discounted 2019 offerings because I was like, oh no, I'm running behind. So like mid-August, I was like, okay, copy paste. So I reset some of my donations. So like I said earlier, you can go and get that Swedish Chef Warlock Pact certificate for a $175 donation. It's kind of pricey, but you get to play it for the entire length of your character. I also have a unicorn warlock pact, and people are like, oh, you can always make a pact with a unicorn, like a celestial, when you're a warlock. This one is custom written. It is not a standard, like, let's see, some of the pact features are called Care Bear Stare. One is called Friendship is Magic. Your 10th level ability is called Rainbow Bright. And 14th is called The Last Unicorn. So if you are a child of the 80s and 90s,
yes,
you're going to get it. You will
and just automatically going to start getting misty-eyed.
Yes.
I've got a couple other animal companions and familiars. One of my friends, Kit, her calico cat passed away earlier this year. So I have memorialized Patches into an animal companion this year. So Patches is one of my new certs. In theory, when we get more free time, I've got some more to add. I'm planning on a scroll of summon lesser doggos. So instead of demons or devils, I'm thinking about making a dire snow leopard mount. Just sort of silly. Like Ma'at has an amazing thing, and I'm just like, oh, this is cute. I'm just gonna
do it.
Yeah. I'm very willy-nilly when it comes to my rewards. What do you got, Travis?
So I like to give out little like consumable things. So I put like I have one where it's like, you know, a bowl of stew, and if you eat it, you get a short rest. Those are fun. Not many people buy them though, but that's all right. I think they're fun. But I sold like
is it instant pot stew?
It is. It does not specify.
It needs to be specified.
It should
then
be.
It will sell for sure.
Yeah. If people knew that I made an instant pot, then
we know how much you love your instant pot.
I love instant pots. I have 3.
I have 0.
You should fix that. That's a whole other event. That's a whole other episode.
We apparently gave you hours.
Yes.
Me and Amy. And that's why you have 3.
But one of the things I really like doing is I like to pick an animal type and then create a number of them for use as familiars. My dog is hiding under my desk right now, and he's supposed to be in his kennel because his back is hurt. Last year I did, what did I do? All Mirage. I did 10 different All Mirages that folks could donate for and get a random one. My daughter Moira really likes Amirage, and she got to pick. This year I didn't let her get to pick exactly, you know, the animal, but I gave her a selection of animals to choose from, and she chose walruses, walruses. So you can donate to have a great big old familiar if you want. There's nothing funner than having a large size familiar. I still think it's hilarious. But yeah, so then that Sabretooth Tiger, if you've ever wanted a Sabretooth Tiger as a mount, those have been like a lot of people have taken me up on that. I've 17 of those out in the wild.
One of my friends got one because they're going to use it as a battle cat.
Yes, I have one of the people that plays in a game that I play in has uses the battle cat picture as their Sabretooth Tiger.
If I was in my other office, I could reach over and grab my actual battle cat.
If I was in
the 80s.
The 80s, I could reach over, but my toys, as a youth, you don't appreciate what you have. So all of my toys have been thrown away or whatever. And
yeah.
I have nothing to show for it, but that's okay.
You have the memories.
I have the memories. The other thing I did this year was I continued. So last year I had a Yip Yap cert where you could donate and you could be a kobold, because kobolds are awesome and they're way better than everything else. So this year I expanded on that, and if you had donated last year for the Yip Yap cert, you could donate again for the already yipped, now you can yap cert, which allows you your previous kobold to sprout wings and become an Erd, to embrace and harness the ultimate might of koboldinity and become an Erd, a winged kobold, and you can fly around
amazing.
all of the other dumb earthbound people. And then I didn't do subclasses this year because finding one that will appeal to people is more work than again, sedentary. So I just donate, and you can pick a subclass out of Xanathar's, or you can pick a subclass out of Tasha's. I just kept it simple. But I do have the Minotaur cert. Minotaur and Hobgoblin are the two races that I picked this season. So you can play a Minotaur, which are pretty cool. And then also the big ones is yes, Latia.
You did too.
We both did. We were the Minotaur twins. We were like Tomax and Zaymot of Minotaurdom.
What was your Latia? What was your Minotaur's name again?
Ariadne. Oh, yeah, y'all. If you haven't seen our Theros adventure, it was amazing, and
it was so much fun to play.
There were content warnings. There were spiders.
Yes,
a lot of spiders.
But Ariadne did an excellent job of taking care of our tiny, small spider problem.
It's true.
Maybe we'll have to dig up the link to that and put it in chat.
It's on the YouTubes.
I'm writing down link to our Theros adventure.
And then for $750 and $1,000, the big ticket stuff, like I will make you a boon or a feat that only you have. I didn't do the dinner. I was thinking about it, but
COVID.
COVID. There was a thing where I would come to your house and I would cook for you with my Instant Pots. I would, but
don't do it this year.
I decided it would not be prudent this year.
No.
However, the larger item is I have the Lambada of D&D, which is my first AO. I can't legally sell it. I can't legally publish it because it contains content from a particular setting, an extraplanar city that hasn't been released yet. Hopefully yet, maybe someday in the future, we'll see. So there are copyright entanglements to my publishing it. So I'm not legally allowed. It is, I just like to refer, scandalous and risque. It's like, it's just like, like when you're scrolling through the internet and it's like, this is
the black bar across it.
And this is what, the Department of the Motor Vehicles doesn't want you to see. Yeah. So I will run that for you. It's a lot of fun, which you will find out if you are willing to donate.
Playing it, is it still D&D AL Legal?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So what I usually do is like I write an AO and then I run it for a year and then I publish it. And then I don't run it again. But this one I couldn't publish it. So I could run it if I wanted to with the
Mhm.
right motivation. I had to get in the right frame of mind because it's
Charity's
just
a pretty good
emotionally
motivator.
like a draining.
And
Yeah.
$2,000 is
It's a lot of
how much?
Snapple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will totally run the adventure for you and your pals and your chums and friends
That's exciting.
and
And even
colleagues.
though you're not going to anyone's house to serve them dinner, that your
Correct.
your Extra Life fundraiser page is quite a feast.
It is a cornucopia. It is a buffet of
Of awesome.
gaming calories. Yes. Of and my one more thing I wanted to add, not to
Yes.
talk over you.
No.
I haven't figured out what I'm going to unlock at 25,000, but at 30,000, I'm going to create an archetype for a class that I haven't decided yet. So what I plan to do is if I hit when I hit $30,000,
yes, there you go.
I'm going to put up a poll, and everybody is going to be able, everybody who donated is going to be able to vote for what class I should make a archetype for.
So you don't even know yet.
I don't even
Audience
know yet.
participation. That's awesome.
Audience participation. Yes. And it's going to be awesome and probably fairly silly.
Of course.
I haven't decided yet.
I would expect nothing less.
Good. Then
I would hope for nothing less.
Hopefully your expectations and your hopes will not be crushed and dashed on the rocks of reality.
No, this year's been doing enough of that. We're gonna be fine.
Yes, 2020 has already taken care of that for us. Jerk year.
Okay, so we should wrap it up because we really only have an hour, and I don't think Latia wants to edit. So, okay, we're fine. Latia says we're fine. So, but still a good idea to wrap up. So if you would like to play online, we also have some articles that could help. Wizards of the Coast has a article about playing remotely at dnd.wizards.com/articles/remote. D&D Adventures League .org also has an article that Amy wrote about let's see, yours was the resources. Okay. About online resources. And then Noah Grand wrote they wrote an article just to help you learn how to play online, to start a game online.
Yeah, what equipment you might need, what services, where to look for games.
Yes. And if you keep your eye on D&D adventuresleague.org, there will be a upcoming article pretty soon about how to more effectively organize your store events and regular game days on an online space.
Yeah, I have a magnificent guide that Violet has put together. I just haven't put it on the website yet. So it is here. We do have it. Hopefully, I'm going to put a goal up next week. It'll be live. I'm going to put it on my to-do list. So
I'm knocking on wood for you. And hopefully that will help ward off anything that might make that not happen that quickly. But if not, please be kind to please don't beat yourself up over it.
Easier said than done sometimes, but you know, that's life.
Yes. So thank you everybody for having us on. If there are any topics that you would like for us to cover in the future, feel free to pop me, Latia, or Amy a message in Discord and Twitter and Facebook, or email us at our community email. And if you have any idea for people that you think we really need to have on as guests, please let us know that too. I have a list of already suggestions people have made, and I would love to have more suggestions as well. Anything else the two of you want to say before we head out?
Thanks for putting up with us.
Thanks,
Thank you for
everyone.
having me on.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for everyone. As we've talked a lot about Extra Life today, but we can't raise money for charity without you. So it's definitely a team effort, a community effort. So thanks for being awesome.
Y'all are
everyone.
our party. Thanks for being at the table with us on this and for supporting children's hospitals.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
We'll talk to you
Thank
soon. We'll see you next month.
Yes.
Bye.
Remember, one is fun.
Bye.
Bye.